Wouldn't it be sweet if life was easy? You know, like how good would it be if you didn't have to do any assignments? How good would it be if your friends were always loyal? If your parents never divorced? If knowing what uni choice was the right one was easy? But life isn't like that. Life's hard, and that's okay, actually. The writer of the book of Ecclesiastes in the Bible, he tells us that there's a time to be born, but there's also a time to die. And he says there's a time to laugh, but there's also a time to weep. There's a time to embrace and to hug, but there's also a time to not and to refrain from that. James, in the New Testament, he actually goes even further. He says, you know, that when we face trials of many kinds, we should consider it pure joy. Like, at first, that sounds crazy. Like, what kind of psycho would willingly embrace a trial? Like, you've got to be pretty sick in the head. But actually, James was pretty onto it. See, trials are watershed moments, and how we respond to them helps shape us. The term watershed comes from a river, and a river's going on this way, and then a bit of land pops up and it forces the river to go one way or the other. And trials are like that in our life. They just pop up, and how we respond to them will actually help shape which direction we go in. See, James knew all about trials. He was the head of the church in Jerusalem in the first century, and the church was getting hammered, severely persecuted. But what was interesting was that the church didn't fall apart. In fact, it actually got stronger. And James himself didn't just, become a complete mess. These trials, they were like a fire that he went through, that he was then stronger and wiser, and more mature. The rest of the verse that he says in the book of James says, "Consider it pure joy when you face trials of many kinds, because the testing of your faith develops perseverance, which must finish its work in you so that you can be mature and complete, not lacking anything." You're going to go through trials. You're going to go through difficult situations, but it comes down to your attitude. And James uses the words, he says, consider it pure joy. Like, you can think of it like this, or you can think of it like this. See, a salvo isn't someone who's going to give up easily. We're not just going to throw in the towel when it gets tough. I want to stand confident of my God, that when I'm facing any situation, I'm confident that He gives me strength. One simple way that we can learn to do this is just even in the way that we pray, that rather than praying, God, would you take away this trial and this challenge, we can say, God, would you give me the strength to endure? Give me the wisdom to know what's going on here. God, I choose joy because I know that you are always with me.